role specifically is to promote international exchange to students, to also create web resources. All of our resources are free on our website, and to advise students who contact us, as well as professionals who contact us for information. I think the most common myth is that students with disabilities need to do something special in order to get accepted into colleges in the United States. There aren't special schools for people with disabilities, so they go through the same admission process as any other student does. There are actually several laws in the United States that protect the rights of persons with disabilities. The most significant one for international students is the Americans with Disabilities Act. And that act prohibits the discrimination of students with disabilities at any schools that accept federal funding, and most schools do accept federal funding. So for example, a school is not going to ask about disability in the application process, and they will not consider it in the application process. It also means that schools are required to provide access to classes and to programs for people with disabilities. So that access could include anything from American Sign Language interpreters to wheelchair ramps to housing that has vibrating fire alarms in the dorm rooms. It is important to start early to prepare for any accommodations that students might need on, for example, the English language testings. It can be a lengthy process to get accommodations such as Braille English language testing or a reader for the English language testing. So students should start that process months in advance. Also, they should make sure that they have documentation of their disabilities. This documentation needs to be from a medical health care provider or a psychiatrist, psychologist that says what the condition is that the student has and why the student would need the accommodations. Now, sometimes it can take a little bit of time, and not every testing center is equipped to do every single type of accommodation, but we are also able to help students navigate that. If they have questions about getting accommodations on the testing or having trouble with it, they're always welcome to contact us. We do have a lot of featured people and articles on our website by people who have gone abroad and have disabilities. We have many people from all over the world who have talked about their experience in the United States as a person with a disability, both the positive parts and the challenges, so that students can get a really concrete idea of what it will be like for them coming to the United States. Students with disabilities should be applying to all of the same scholarships that students without disabilities apply to. And we know many students with disabilities that have won Fulbright Awards, who have also gotten Humphrey Fellowships. So it's important that students with disabilities know that any scholarship available is available to them as a person with a disability. And in fact, if these scholarships are looking for diverse applicants, then their disability may be an advantage to them and not a disadvantage. So if they see that a college is looking for underrepresented groups or students who are diverse, they should be sure to mention their disability in their application process. They won't be discriminated against because that's illegal if the scholarship is in the United States, but it might help them. I would also say that sometimes universities have scholarships that are specifically for people with disabilities. So once a student has narrowed down their choices to a few universities, they should contact those universities and ask what scholarships or funding is especially available to people with disabilities. The way that disability services in the United States works is to approach every individual student as his unique situation. So they'll look at what that student uses currently in their home country, and they'll look at what they have available on campus and try to find a match. Now, that could be anything from finding an interpreter for the classroom, or maybe it's more helpful for the student to sit in the front of the classroom so they can hear better. It depends on what the student needs. There are a lot of services and equipment that are not provided by schools generally, such as a personal assistant or a wheelchair or other equipment like that. In those cases, the Disability Services Office or our office might be able to help students find those resources off campus, and we actually have a tip sheet on our website that talks about finding resources off campus. It's a great experience for students with disabilities to have a different cultural idea of what having a disability is. In the United States, students with disabilities are expected to be independent, and so students should know that coming in. Most oftentimes, they develop a very strong sense of confidence having this experience in the United States. And it's a great experience to have. They should definitely give it a try and not be discouraged because of disability.